the elimination of foil. Now I'll accept everything except for nails. If I press it one more time, I've eliminated all of the discriminate levels, and I'm accepting all targets. So now if I'm going to go back up again, I'll get back my eliminate icon, which indicates nails eliminated. I press it one more time, and I've got foil icon. If I press it one more time, I've got the 5-cent piece icon. One more time, I've got the pull tab icon, noting that there are some rings in the foil area and in the pull tab area. One more discriminate level up, and I've gotten to zinc pennies being eliminated, as well as bottle caps. There's a little icon showing a bottle cap and a ring again, bigger rings. If I press it one more time, it doesn't go any higher. And the reason for that is we don't want you to, and you probably would never want to, eliminate copper pennies, quarters, 50-cent pieces, silver dollars. So that's the full level of discrimination available to you. Again, all the way up and all the way back. So up and down, you just add that particular section as being discriminated out. If I chose now to utilize a smart notch, I ask myself why. Well, let's look. We've got here foil gone, nails gone, nickels gone, pull tabs gone. Well, wait a minute. Do I want to really lose nickels? Well, I want to lose those pull tabs and maybe the bottle caps, but I don't want to lose those nickels because there are 60-some-odd% of those nickels can be the gold ring. So we hit the smart notch, and what happens? The icon goes away under nickel, and we've effectively notched out the nickel so that it is accepted, and the only thing left behind are the first two blocks, which would be nails and foil, and we skip over into the pull tab and zinc penny range. Now, in this way, we can eliminate all the trash items, but we're going to accept that nickel, which is important. Now let's put the discriminator down in a different direction. Let's go back down here and see how the smart notch might work in another area. Let's reduce the amount of discrimination. We're going to accept the zinc penny. We're going to accept the pull tab. We're going to accept the nickel, which you already had there. We're going to go right down to foil. And now we've accepted everything. Well, let's go back to preset. 1, 2. Now we're at preset again. But what if we wanted to have a low level of discrimination? So I'm going to get most of those rings, but I just have too many pull tabs in the area. If I drop my discriminate level below foil, which where I've got now at foil, I can hit the smart notch now, and watch happens. The pull tab goes out. So now I've used the smart notch to get rid of pull tabs. I'm going to get rid of foil and nails, and I'm going to hear everything else, including nickels. So I can go two ways. I can either add the pull tab to be eliminated, or I can notch in the nickel if I use a high level of discrimination, and so I'm not going to lose my nickel. So the smart notch is able to be utilized in or out. The pull tab's out, the pull tab's in. Easy as can be. All of the Prizms, the 2, 3, and 4, have audio as well as visual discrimination. That is to say, when you go over a target, you can select which target you want to respond to your detector and which target you don't want to respond. Now, on the 2 and the 3, it's a very simple process. When you go over a target that you are accepting by virtue of the discriminate range you've set, then you will hear a repeatable signal. As you go from left to right and right to left, you'll have a repeatable signal. We'll call it a beep, beep. And when you go over a good target, or a target that you've accepted, it's going to go beep, beep. If it's a marginal target, sometimes a very deep target, you might get a scratchy sound. It may still be repeatable, but it may not be totally clear. Targets like that deserve a little bit of investigation. Now, on the Prizm 4, we've added a new feature, Tone ID. Now, Tone ID will give you a hint as to what the target might be, or at least what range it falls into, and it alerts you. Now, what kind of an alert is that going to be? Well, you're going to hear a high-pitched sound for all the good targets. That is, acceptable targets in the range you really want, and that's your nickels, which can be rings, and copper pennies all the way up to silver dollars. You're going to hear that as a high-pitched sound. you're going to hear a low pitch sound for iron targets and for pull tabs. And that low pitch sound is going to alert you that these two targets are targets that you don't want. So when you hear the low pitch sound, you can ignore them. The high pitch sound, you're going to be alerted that they're good. Now the third sound that you would hear would be a mid-range sound, not deep low and not high pitch. And this would indicate the possibility or probability that that target is either foil or aluminum pull tabs. Now remember, foil and pull tabs are something you don't want. However, they are superimposed on the possibility of it being a ring, a very small ring at foil, very tiny ear ring at foil, and up around pull tabs, some of the wedding rings. So since you have a medium range, then that's a possible target. It's not your high pitch sound that you're going to hear on absolutely good targets. It's not the low pitch sound which you're going to ignore, but the middle range can be something that's a possibility. This is a motion discriminator, a motion detector. What it means is that as you're moving the coil from side to side, as the coil passes over a target, you will hear a beep. If you stop over the target and don't move your hand, you'll notice the beep goes away. It's pretty hard to pinpoint sometimes by eyeballing that point at which you're hearing a beep. So we've added the pinpoint control so that when you press it or activate it, if you just give it a tap, it goes on. Then you can slow down over the target and more clearly define where the target is so you don't dig random holes looking for something which is directly under the center of the coil. But with motion, you're not sure where that is. And when you go to pinpoint, you can hesitate and see that portion of the signal which resonates louder and stronger. And it will be in the very center of the coil, and that will be the center of your target, making it easier to pinpoint. When you press the pinpoint touchpad, which is, by the way, shaped like your thumb, mine fits right on top of it, and hold it in, while you're holding it in, you are in the pinpoint and all metal mode. And you can do your pinpointing, you can hesitate over the target, find the center of the target, and release it. When you release it, pinpoint mode goes away, all metal mode goes away. If you wanted to work for an extended period or have difficulty pinpointing at first, you might want to just activate it permanently until you hit the pad again. For example, I would press pinpoint once, it would click on, and as long as I took my thumb away right away, it stays on. Now, if I was going to search in the all metal mode in a field where I want to hear everything, this would be a good mode to operate on. I would hear all metals, everything in the ground, and it stays on. You don't have to keep your thumb there, which would be tedious. When I want to deactivate it, I just press it again momentarily and let go, and away goes the pinpoint mode and the all metal mode. So beginners, I think, would be a good idea to tap it once, use it to pinpoint, tap it again till it gets go. When you get very quick at this, you can press it, hold it down, pinpoint your target and release it. You don't have to tap it. You just release it and it goes right back into the search mode and you dig your target up. We're going to start out now and show you a few basic hunting techniques. First of all, the method of sweeping, the speed of sweeping, and the method of sweeping. Notice I'm overlapping the sweep so that the coil on the end of the rod here is covering and overlapping itself. In that way, we cover all of the ground. We don't want to do like a Zorro thing where you make great big spaces because you're wasting your time and you're just trusting totally to luck. We want to cover all the ground, not too fast and not real slow, just sort of easy going. Now, as we do that, we're going to hear extraneous signals. We're going to hear little chirps here and there, which are pieces of trash that we've discriminated out, and we ignore them. What we're listening for is a repeatable signal. That is one which makes a sound going in both directions over the target. Now, these junk targets are maybe pieces of foil that we've intentionally discriminated out. And there was one right there. It just broke up, and so it's not worth stopping for. We want something that's going to repeat itself. And in a field, you're going to find lots and lots of different targets, but you're waiting for that sound like, oh, here we go. Now, that's a repeatable signal. It makes a signal in both directions.